Here to make the internet great once more, it's the 8-Bit Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends of the Playhouse, friends of the 8-Bit Podcast, enemies of the 8-Bit Podcast, and otherwise, welcome to the program. Sorry we're so late, but you know what? Shit happens. I am the intrepid Yokai Watch. Joining me, as always, my man, the affectionate Alpha Omega Sin.
I'm the reason that we're late. Again, fuck you if you don't like it.
Well, you know, I mean, I'm not going to explain it. Fuck it. And also, my man, co-holder of the 8-Bit Tag Team Championship, the reckless and ruthless Razor Fist.
Which is odd, because normally he's really, really early. Anyway, I'm Razor Fist, God fucking speed.
Excellent. Welcome to the program. We got a few things to talk about. We'll hopefully, you know, all you motherfuckers, you know, are still hanging out. I saw some people just, you know, were tired. Bitch asses had to go home. So I understand that, but we got a lot to talk about tonight. But before I get into all of that, I want to remind each and every one of you that me and Razor Fist, we would like you to subscribe and follow us on the Twitter. You know, make sure you do that. Alpha Omega Sin, on the other hand, he would like you to stop following him, and he would like you to unsubscribe. He told me this. He told me this, and in an official statement, and I quote, he said, "Fuck him in the ear, fuck him in their other ear, and as a matter of fact, fuck you, Yokai Watch." Okay, maybe I went too far, but the point is.
No, there was other orifices mentioned. He's completely just not mentioning all of them. I think that's kind of rude.
It was abridged. It was abridged. We don't have. It was a long list of expletives. Mm-hmm. So and I appreciate this audience. No, I don't. But the point is, we welcome you to our program. And, you know, so make sure and check us out on the social media, on Twitter, on Facebook, on the Instagram. You got to get on that Instagram. Alpha Omega Sin is putting some pictures of him that is going to make all the girls scream.
Hey,
as I say that, a bunch of young men are going to go over and see what I'm talking about.
See, but you got to appreciate my Leonardo DiCaprio, Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Hey, look, weren't you that one kid that eventually became the goth kid on Home Improvement? Yeah, that picture, and it's the closest that you'll ever see me with that a fucking beard. So it's good.
Yeah, no, good. You look like the tough kid from a Disney Channel original movie,
dude.
Hey, wiener.
I'm the kid in every like after school special that's trying to get somebody to smoke.
You know, the kid who's just edgy enough to smoke, but not edgy enough to say the word damn.
Yeah,
you know,
just darn it. Just darn it.
And who owns a dirt bike but doesn't necessarily ride it.
Yes.
I works on it in the garage.
I was in the era right before Razor scooters were a thing. So damn it, I couldn't jump on that bandwagon. Gosh darn it.
It's true.
Gosh darn it. So make sure you check that stuff out, because we're not just doing this for our health. Come on. But also, I want to remind you that if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can drop us a line. You can leave correspondence of any kind for us at 8bitpodcast@gmail.com. We might answer your question. We might not. But the point is, you tried. And for that, you know, we applaud you. Now, cutting through most of the fat, as I try to do in every single program, we're going to get to a hot topic that was just, we were giving away free jokes before the program came on. And Alpha Omega Sin and myself, we said, fuck that. So, not too long ago, over in Anaheim, California, the place of my birth, there was the 2016 PlayStation Experience. Alpha Omega Sin, take it away. You know the most about this. I got to see that it was a peaceful affair, and there were no broken heads that I heard about. So that's impressive for its first time out. But tell us about the PlayStation Experience.
The PlayStation Experience, a.k.a. PSX, which is what everybody should just call the PlayStation 1. I mean, that's... The PS1's cool, but it should just be called the PSX. And then Sony actually released a PSX, and it was a steaming pile of horseshit. So we just don't ever remember that for being anything other than just a waste of cash. So beyond that, the PlayStation Experience gave us Knack 2. I know you're all excited. I mean, Knack 2, I've got it sitting over there because the trade-in value on it was fucking garbage. So I couldn't get shit for it. But it is one of the worst launch games I've ever gotten. Ever. Any system. I mean, I had so many different system launches and was like, I'm going to pick up this game and this game. And there was barely anything for PS4 when it came out. They had Knack. What I'm assuming Knack 2 is since the game was probably like 1/10 of the way finished, this is the rest of the game.
Yeah.
And this is technically what Knack 1 was going to be, but they just flushed it right out for everybody to enjoy. It's fucking miserable. I hope this game fails too.
I think Knack was created just so Perfect Dark Zero wouldn't have to be the worst launch title ever. I think they had a deal with the Rare people.
Jesus Christ, stop. My heart can only take so much. This back-to-back terrible fucking title. I'm just like... I can't. It fucking hurts. God damn, that game was terrible. Both of them are stupid. But yeah, we got Knack 2, but we got to see footage for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. That's a good. It's been what, 5 years since Marvel vs. Capcom 3,
and they'll still cock tease me with Daredevil. He'll be some kind of team up move. He won't be in the game. I know it. No,
there is no fucking.
Well, he's blind. I mean, what kind of message would that send? We're putting blind people in a combat sport.
Well, good. So he doesn't have to look at the art style.
Yeah, anyway. Look, I'm fine with them having disabled people. We can have Professor Xavier come in and just like run someone over and just it'd be fucking great. Then he can just like park on something. On She-Hulk.
Professor X can have a super combo where he's hooked up to some marionette strings and we have his gimpy legs flop around.
Dude, it can be like Joe from Family Guy.
Yes.
It'd be fucking perfect. That'd be the shit. So we got to see this, and I'm happy because. I mean, I like the Marvel vs. Capcom games. I honestly thought 3 was fucking amazing. You have to get the ultimate version of it, though, because there's a lot more characters in it. You'd be a fucking fool not to. But, dude, Daredevil will totally be in it. The fucking show, it basically made everybody go, oh, holy shit, that's a character that I don't have to make fun of now. Well, this is fucking fantastic. That's great. Awesome. I get to wash that bad taste out of my mouth, and now I get to enjoy Batman.
Yeah. If he shows up, that'll probably be why, is because the show has been successful.
You know what? But that's fine. I don't give a shit how or why he got to the party. I just want him fucking there.
There you go.
Just put him in there, have him go and do his thing. I need more Phoenix Wright in there. I need more Frank West in there because that shit made me happy. They put Nemesis in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. That shit. I was just like, I can finally tentacle rape characters. Like, all my hentai dreams are coming true. And it was fucking beautiful.
And that was my only complaint about Marvel Capcom 3 was the roster was a little... You know, they had fucking wasn't Beautiful Joe was in that, and then like they had like lots of really obscure Capcom characters, but it seemed like on the Marvel end it was a little on the weaker side with the
I noticed that in general for Capcom they'll dig deep. With Marvel, they just go with like all the well-known characters, and that's it.
Also don't forget, in that same amount of time, the Marvel characters have changed hands. Different licensing group.
That's true. The Disney buyout. Well, when was the Disney buyout? That was just
was 2000 and I want to say 2014.
Okay, so that was not. So Marvel Capcom 3 was before that.
I know, and I'm just saying that you know, going into Infinite, you could expect something, you know, that sort of, you know, roster choice.
This should be interesting. You know,
I just want to see.
He didn't say good. He said interesting.
Car crashes are interesting. What?
No argument.
Look, at least we'll see Mega Man get represented in a game. So that's a thing, right? They'll actually remember that he exists and he'll be in an actual Capcom licensed game. So that's fucking exciting.
Is he pretty much just around for the team ups at this point?
No, he gets to be his own character. Granted, they have X in there, so I don't know if they're gonna bring in like regular Mega Man, and if they're ever gonna bother with like Bass or Proto Man or the different other offshoots of Mega Man. And I just want to see him in his own standalone game again, or just give me Legends 3. I'm probably gonna say that until I eventually like kill my YouTube channel. Granted, I haven't hit 50 million subscribers, so I can't officially.
Well, then you can't do it yet.
Nah, not yet. One day I'll get there.
Yeah. I can't wait to quit this job.
Well, goddamn, you better get on that thick fucking Scandinavian accent and the girlish shrieks on. Then I don't know.
I'm trying.
You'll be there in a week.
We got The Last of Us 2. Have you guys played The Last of Us? Yes.
No.
I played the original, and I wish I hadn't.
Okay, so we have one fuck it, and we have one nope. So I see. This is why I like the Hate Bit podcast, because it's all flavors. It's Baskin Robbins.
It's all flavors of
fantastic. Nope. I liked The Last of Us a lot. I thought it was a really fucking cool game.
Okay, wait. In my defense, I just want to say that there's a reason I never got around to The Last of Us, because the first game I played on the PlayStation 4 was Knack.
Oh no, don't stop. No, you poor. That's still like counseling, like worthy. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, dude, that game makes me so mad, and like it makes me mad at Mark Cerny. Like, you know what? Fuck Marble Madness.
Well, here, let me give you a concept. Okay, hey, do you like chutes and ladders?
Look, it's the closest that we can get to ever having a Home Depot simulator.
It's just, at some point, I was expecting. In retrospect, I regret not reviewing Last of Us, because I had a great gag planned with. All I'll say is it involved The Last of Us, a series of ladders and chutes, and the theme from Home Improvement. That's all I'll say.
Look, okay, I did like the game a whole lot. They did use the theme of, all right, we need to carry that plank of wood, carry that ladder. Do you have another plank of wood? Maybe another ladder? Well, we need to get across that chasm. Good thing we got a plank of wood, but we need to get up to the ladder. So we need another ladder to get to the ladder. Is that what we're doing? Okay, cool. That's great.
Yeah. Apparently, the infection is caused by hardware. I don't understand. Like, who's just leaving these ladders lying around? Who's leaving these perfectly sized planks around?
I liked it because Ellie was able to pick it up, and I'm like, man, you are a strong little chick. Yeah. Because this thing is like at least 4 to 5 times her weight easily. Well, and she's like,
she builds up. You build up a lot of core strength scissoring with brown girls. So
you know what? I'm pretty sure that happened somewhere in all the DLC that I couldn't find. I looked. Really? I was curious, but it was nowhere in there. So maybe Unseen 64 will have like something on it, or Did You Know Gaming? Did you know? And it's like, but I am excited about it. All they showed off, they didn't show off gameplay. All they showed off was just the characters kind of meeting up, and she's just sitting there like twanging on her guitar, singing a song, which I thought was kind of weird, but I was just kind of overwhelmed with excitement of, hey, it's happening. I'm still kind of bummed out that they passed on doing Jak and Daxter 4 to go and make it, but I'll get over it like I do with so many other franchises that they kind of forget about ever bothering with again. But we got The Last of Us. We're going to go and shoot things, pew pew. It'll look pretty because they're just using the Uncharted engine, and Uncharted 4 looked very beautiful, so we got that. Hopefully they don't decide to put a big emphasis on multiplayer, because I could do without that. Please don't do that. Just give me a horror game, please. The end. That's all. That's all I need. Oh, hey, Parappa the Rapper in 4K.
You gonna have them pixels gonna poke you in the eyeball?
The 1990s happened.
Look, I'll be honest. Like,
onions wrapped.
All remember Barry's South Park references aside, looking at the nostalgia-driven commercial that they had made that showed a kid in the 90s playing the game, then showed him as an adult with kids around him, obviously living with a lot of regret because he knocked up the wrong bitch, but playing Parappa the Rapper again in 4K, and he was like, this is fucking fantastic, and then all the songs came on, and I was like, yeah. But it was interesting that they were taking a PlayStation 1 game. They didn't do shit with it other than just upscale to 4K. And it's the same fucking game. I'm kind of happy. And the more that I can focus on this and not on Jammer Lammy, it's better. So much better. And I'm going to get absolutely fucking raped in that game because, dude, it is really difficult. Like, for a rhythm game, I swear I fucking threw a goddamn conniption fit every time playing that. Just fucking
and that's something that doesn't get mentioned often. You know, there were rhythm games in Japan before that, but Parappa the Rapper, at least here in the States or in the West too, in Europe to a lesser extent, it made rhythm games viable commercially, like on a bigger level.
Dude, in a lot of ways, the genre was unheard of.
Yeah.
Like nobody knew about it, nobody gave a shit about it, and this was a first-party game. And I mean, to go with that, I mean, it's a big risk, but I mean, you know, the 32-bit era was no fucks given. They were throwing shit at the wall, and they're like, something will stick, and people will fucking eat it. And sure enough, it was happening.
And then because of that, we got Donkey Konga.
Oh boy,
Parappa the Rapper.
That's always good because I didn't want any more Donkey Kong Country games. I wanted that.
No, I want fucking wrist contusions. That's what I want for Christmas.
I want to watch some 41 jerk themselves off in a Nintendo commercial. That's what I want, folks. Thank you. Or was it some 41 or was it Good Charlotte?
They're the same fucking band. Don't kid yourself.
The saddest shit is you would remember.
Dude, I forgot about Good Charlotte.
You don't understand, man. Listen, Donkey Kong is my favorite Nintendo thing. He might be my favorite video game thing. Watching that commercial, it was like walking in on your parents. It is you never get over it, all right? It is burned into your retina.
You just see your mom hovering above your dad, and she's just pissing all over him, and you just don't know how to process all this. Look, I just got done watching the last season of South Park. I have a lot of this shit fresh in my head, so I'm going to regurgitate as much of it as I possibly fucking can. I'm sorry. But yeah, Donkey Konga was it wasn't a good time. Also,
now a whole bunch of people in the audience just picture Donkey Kong perched over their mother.
Dude, do you know how much it does expand dong pictures are out there? There's so many weird things.
Well, you know, the moment you put the save points in the tender care of a leggy monkey chick in a pink onesie with ginormous inflatable hooters, you're kind of asking for it at that point. And they made it even worse in Donkey Kong 64 with the what's her name? Jailbait Kong? I don't know what the fuck her name is. She's basically Britney Spears Kong.
That's even better. Jailbait Kong's name is Dixie. Let's just let's let that simmer for a little bit.
That wasn't even Dixie. In Donkey Kong 64, I'm talking about the
the broad with the lipstick.
Yes, and she was always, and it was horrible because I don't know what rare we're smoking. She kept bending over and doing like aerobics.
You know why? Because they were just like, we want to get Bruce Jenner into a Donkey Kong game. This is about as close as we can get. Bickety bam, bickety boom. We fucking did it, folks. We did it, boys. Light up
Caitlin Kong.
Great success. We came a long way since the original arcade interpretation of Donkey Kong, and now we got Donkey Kong Country, and now Donkey Cunt. It's fucking good stuff.
Yes. But tomorrow we'll have a Newsweek cover. You know, Call Me Kong. It'll be fantastic, folks. It'll be fantastic.
I'm looking forward to that. I think it'll be a good time. It'll save me time from having.
This time it'll be an actual banana in his slacks. So, anyways, continue.
Oh man, I don't want bananas. They're already phallic and it's fucking awkward and stuff. You have to gently peel them. No.
I gotta throw a shot.
Wait, what kind of phallus are you gently peeling? What do you do when you're not here?
Look, I grew up watching Hellraiser movies. It's the only thing I know.
Oh.
I gotta throw a shout out to Ashura in the comments section with Yiffy Kong.
I approve of that. That is fantastic. Jesus Christ! You know what? It's so weird because we grew up with a lot of animal mascot characters, and once the mid 2000s or so hit, it was nothing but people just really playing off their perversions, and all of them Star Fox getting fucked, and Sonic, dear God, poor Sonic, everything Sonic, just poor Sonic doesn't deserve all this, and Donkey Kong and Tails.
Oh my God. You remember when you could pick up a Sonic the Hedgehog comic without getting a dirty look from the clerk?
Oh yeah.
You remember that?
Or they start whispering to you and be like, do you want to see what's behind the counter?
Yeah.
We got like I can show you what kind of attachments that they made for Metal Sonic. So if you want to see this,
I got milk over here and Kathmandu.
Yeah, do you want to see cream uncensored?
The first YIF is free.
It's just like all of it, dude. There's so much. I swear I've seen like the amount of Sonic fucking like foot fetish pictures that are drawn on there. I'm like, if you just type in Sonic the Hedgehog, weird shit pops up. I'm like, stop it, just play the games. Except for like, you know, Sonic Boom and Sonic 06, unless like you're fucking drunk, then you know everything's good. So we got that, and we got the Crash Bandicoot trilogy. Is anybody giving a shit other than me? Probably just me.
I think it's cool enough. I just love how you transition right from all that horrible stuff happening to Sonic the Hedgehog to making it PlayStation's problem.
Because we were talking about animal mascots, still the PlayStation experience, and now Crash Bandicoot. And I mean, he had a big tittied fucking girlfriend. So
that was sort of a lead in. I appreciate that.
It's a good segue. It fucking worked. It might need more explaining, but fuck it, damn it, it can work. We've got a proper HD trilogy of Crash Bandicoot,
which is cool. But like, don't you kind of need it? To me, anyways, maybe you guys will feel differently, but to me, the HD re-releases should really be something that's done after the franchise has already been reintroduced. You know what I mean? Like, it's not really a lead-in.
Because it looks real lazy, doesn't it? There's no fire, there's no fervor. It's kind of like when you see a best of somebody at the car wash. It's like,
man, I think this is a good.
How best could it really be?
This gets two things done at once. This is a good way for a potential reintroduction to the franchise, assuming that they actually plan on giving a fuck whenever they're making the games. But this is a good way to go and reintroduce it without just like putting out the original games, but they're glossing them up, making them all pretty. And if they plan on doing something more with it, I'd be happy, assuming it doesn't fucking suck. And it's Activision, so there's a high chance of suctitude. But I just want to go in with a positive mindset and just hope that they can't fuck it up. Since everything's being handed to them on a silver platter, it's all done. Just make it look nice. That's all. And it looks nice. I mean, it looks
what I'm saying is invert it. Say instead of releasing an HD trilogy first, you have a really, you do one of your dramatic Sony pressers, because if anybody can hype up some bullshit, it's Sony.
Oh, right? Yes. Oh, yes. You remember that mini disc thing?
Excited for Ridge Racer, motherfucker. So anyway, well, that's not true. That was one of the few misfires. they got people excited for, what was like a bullshit announcement from like, they got people excited for a Star Wars skin on a Battlefield game. All right? Think about that for a moment. It was the same game. It just had stormtroopers in it. All right? That's a big fucking deal. But, like, imagine that. Imagine Sony doing their razzle-dazzle bullshit at an actual conference. The lights go down. The cellos play their one note, like the brooding introductory set. And then you just hear Crash Bandicoot's voice over the speaker. And then it reveals him walking out of the darkness. And then you get your full Crash Bandicoot Returns trailer. By the next day, it would be like, holy fuck, Crash Bandicoot Returns. It'd be hashtag Crash Bandicoot. Crash, hashtag Bandicoot in the butt. It'd be bigger than Jesus. And then you do the HD re-release right before you release the game, so that you have something to sell and so that you can introduce the new audience to. To me, that's the proper way to do it. When you've already got everyone's attention, you need the attention grabber first. Is my point.
Well, I think
I agree with you. You're right. But what this really, and when you do it the other way around, it looks like just a toe in the water. You're just trying to see if anybody will pay attention, and no one likes that. You either go in or, you're either dedicated to this or you're not. You want us, it's like you want us to tell you how to run your business and you want us to pay for it too?
Yeah. No one likes a low-fat Twinkie.
Not a person.
I mean, let's assume that the trilogy does well. And I'm just going to assume that's going to do well because fucking nostalgia tards are.
Your nostalgia is strong.
And I'm definitely one of them. But if this does well, this could lead into bigger things. A Spyro the Dragon trilogy, HD, remake, re-release, whatever the fuck you want to go and call it. But they have Crash Bandicoot in the Skylanders series. They have that Skylanders show. Yes, I've had to sit down and watch it with my son and my nephew, and it's fucking terrible, by the way. It is absolutely miserable. I like the games. The games are actually kind of fun. Oddly enough, they're like Diablo. You know how fucking weird that is?
They look like Diablo.
Dude, no shit. They are literally a lot like Diablo, just you got little toys that you put on the fucking thing and that's it. But I was kind of blown away. I actually played through some of it just on my own, separate from my nephews and son. I was like, because I was trying to go and build shit up so it'd be easier when we went in next time. I was like, I'm actually having fun. Good shit. But anyway, but Crash Bandicoot is on that, and dude, they gave him like this horrible Australian accent, and I know Bandicoots are from fucking Australia, so I don't give a shit. He still sounds like an asshole, and his dialogue was that of an asshole. And Spyro the Dragon on the show is a fucking asshole, and he had like that little bit of tood that I was fine with, but this is fucking horrible. Like, it's so just, you want to fucking hit him. God, I hate him. Terrible. Don't like, no, bad, just don't let them talk. It's awful. People say the same thing about me, but I don't give a shit. I'm charming.
Well, that's the thing. If you've ever recorded any video where your voice is featured for any length of time, I don't care who you are. You could be fucking. You could be anybody with beautiful. You could be the movie trailers guy, and if you're talking for any length of time, it'd be like, fuck, man, you got to do something about your fucking voice, man. You got a terrible voice. You're nasally and annoying and blah. That's just the internet, dude.
Hey, there's one person I can listen to forever and ever and ever, and that's Vincent Price. I don't think that there's ever a time that I haven't heard him speak anything. It doesn't even matter how ridiculous it is. He could just tell me like all the ingredients on like the fake potato boxes that you end up buying and shit, and I'm just like, yeah, go and tell me like what's inside of this. Even on Batman, where everything he had to say had to do with eggs.
Yeah. He's just like riboflavin.
Exactly.
Like, what the fuck?
That's my impression of Vincent Price.
But overall PlayStation experience, it had a bunch of shit. I know that there's other stuff, but I mean, those were highlights for me. Which is
interesting. Capcom and Sony openly endorsing esports at this thing, which is interesting. It seems like
becoming more of a thing. They did the same thing at the Game Awards.
And and we're going to talk about the Game Awards in just 1 second. In fact, you know what? That's a good time to talk about Jeff Keighley and his bullshit Oscars, the Game Awards. And and I told Jeff Keighley, I told him, I'm going to stuff you back in that tree with the rest of the Keebler elves, you motherfucker. And well, anyway, that's not important. What's important was there was a fucking shit show where they jerked themselves off and gave away a bunch of awards. And I didn't get to see too many of the games that they talked about. But what was the one, Fist? I think you said they debuted something at the Game Awards.
Well, they showed a new trailer for Kojima's game that clearly is about nothing. It is the Seinfeld of games.
What's that one? Is that the one that apparently Kojima claims will not take 1,000,000 years to make or something like that?
Claims. I don't know. It doesn't. To me, it looks like he doesn't even have a game yet. Just judging by the trailers, I have no idea. I got no concept of what this game is.
I keep having people ask my opinions on it. I'm like, but I haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah, nothing.
They're like, okay, it's Death Stranding.
Yeah. Okay. Look, when I'm in a position to not call a Kojima game shit, you know that it's not a game yet. All right. If I haven't called it shit yet, it's clearly not a game.
I want to see what it is, but so far, like, I can react to trailers of things that are like pre-existing properties because we kind of know what we're going to be getting ourselves into. But when it's a brand new IP, and especially from somebody that's as well known as him, well, I need to know what the fuck it's going to be. Because, I mean, there's certain people that their name sounds like Keiji Inafune, but it might not be. But sometimes they make things, and then it doesn't turn out to be the things that we really wanted it to be. And then we're kind of sad inside. The sads are all in here.
You have a kind. It's almost like an evil within of some kind. Like conquer that sadness.
It's kind of like that. You kind of think that you're getting into a grounded reality survival horror game, and then they try to go M. Night Shyamalan with it, and it turns into a fucking shit show. And then you're kind of like, well, that was well, I've played worse. There, I made it better. Yeah, but yeah, Death Stranding was there.
What are you getting from it? I'm getting sea mammals and war. That's what I'm getting.
I'm getting a lot of chicks who are probably going to jerk off to it because of Norman Reedus.
Well, okay, you've already got Norman Reedus ass crack in the one trailer.
Oh no, that alone, I mean, they'll be able to sit there and fucking jam their fucking fun bag with that like all day. It's just I don't know what it is. Like, I want to know, like, is it gonna be a horror game? Because I know that he was interested in doing horror related shit, but I can't tell if it is because it doesn't look like it is. And everybody's like trying to read deep into it. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think there's depth to read there. Personally, I'm just being perfectly honest. I think it's weird because Kojima's
finding a lot of symbolism within shit, and there's certain parts of me. I'll admit, I like reading into very cryptic things because you're trying to just, I don't know, you're playing detective basically. But after a while, I'm like, please just show me gameplay. Like, I'm done playing guesswork. Like, it's been a couple months. Just give me gameplay or tell me something, anything. I don't care. But it's just more cryptic stuff.
But more importantly, Jeff Keighley gave him an award for being his friend. So that's a thing. Thank you for being a friend, Coach.
If I'm not mistaken, isn't that what he gave all the awards for?
Oh.
Well, honestly, now I want to hear the fucking Golden Girls theme song like so fucking bad.
Thank you for being a friend.
Travel down the road.
No. We're gonna get sued.
Oh yeah. No shit. Any longer and we have to pay for it.
If the estate of B. Arthur is gonna come after us.
Did you hear his like preamble to that? His whole fucking spiel. I mean, Jeff Keighley almost burst into tears. It was genius. He was like misty-eyed. He almost broke out in the song. I'm not saying he was sucking the man's dick, but there was like a mushroom-shaped bruise on the back of his tonsils. Motherfucker.
So in other words, like there was a Randy Newman song playing and shit.
It's kind of weird. The mushroom-shaped bruise looks like the Kojima Studios logo. And it's just odd, like how those things work out. Like, is that how he signs his papers? He stands up and just like, there we go. All right, now take the checks.
You'll take it and you'll like it.
There was literally nothing else at the Game Awards this year. Oh yeah, there was a giant anthropomorphic Gillette razor that had a fight with.
There was awkward rapping, so there was that. That's a thing, right? Here, let's get something out of the way. Everybody already knows that we're into metal, but I can recognize good rap when I hear it because I have fucking ears. Yeah. That wasn't at all. In any conceivable way.
Hey, this is you recognizing good rap. It's for the same reason that I can recognize good rap. We both grew up in bad neighborhoods. Right.
Like when people are just like, oh, you guys can't. Like, well, gosh, I want to go and take you on some adventures and show you like where I hung out and where I lived. Like, why is he blasting like "It's Dark and Hell is Hot" from DMX right now? Like, because I know as some competent rap. Granted, it's a fucking crazy crackhead, but I mean, you need to be on some kind of drugs to make good music. Now,
you know what? I grew up in a pretty shitty neighborhood, and the only thing I learned from the neighborhood music was there are different kinds of accordions.
I hope now. Am I crazy, or at some point is a vast conspiracy going to be revealed one day where we find out that mariachi and polka are the exact same thing?
Well, they both involve drinking and accordions. You tell me.
Am I crazy? It's all boom choo boom choo boom choo.
And what did that teach us? It takes alcohol to appreciate the accordion.
That's not a bad theory. I think you should pull on that thread.
Look,
we'll expand on that throughout the rest of the season.
About like this kind of music, well, I would like to have like polka and mariachi music playing, and I need Razor Fist to become another animated GIF, giving the fucking finger and throwing in a fucking chair while everything starts collapsing around him. Like,
yeah, those are the two. Those are the, I mean, I don't care. Bilderbergs, Illuminati. I don't want to hear out about any of your conspiracies. To me, the two biggest conspiracies in the world are Italian and Spanish are the same language. and polka and mariachi music is the same thing. The end.
You know what? I'm fine with that.
And Hillary Clinton is Jesse Jackson.
She pulls
off. So over at the Game Awards.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Oh yeah. So Jesse Jackson Game Awards, mariachi music. This all works together.
Here's your summary. Are you aware of an award at the Game Awards, like a category, any category, just any category, just name one?
Well, I'm looking at one right now, which actually is the best mobile/handheld game.
Overwatch won it. Overwatch won everything. There is nothing left for Overwatch to win. The end.
No. Doom got one. Doom got one.
Doom actually did it. Overwatch won so much, and I was just like, it's really weird that everybody mispronounces Team Fortress 2. I find that really strange. For all you Blizzard diehards out there that are going to cry a fucking river, well, you can, and when you're done canoeing down it, Team Fortress 2 will be waiting for you at the end of it. So good luck with that. It's fun times.
What I noticed at the Game Awards, I know the Game Awards must be a fucking work because they put best mobile/handheld game. They put Fire Emblem Fates and Monster Hunter Generations against fucking Pokemon Go. That's not fair. That's like the main event in fucking Jurassic Park. A Tyrannosaurus. What?
That's a fucking cop-out because you can tell that nobody knows about any good mobile games because the only good mobile games are emulators playing ROMs of console games and PC games and arcade games. Those are the best mobile games. Yeah, Alpha, but what about shut the fuck up? Play that game. If you play that game and get the high score, I'll be fucking proud of you, unlike your fucking parents. God. Anyway. But them putting it together, it's just fucking lazy. That's what they do.
No, it's not fair. That's like when Jethro Tull won the fucking best metal Grammy. It doesn't make sense.
And then, of course, it was hilarious. They caught so much shit for that from that point on, Metallica won every year. Like, oh shit, we fucked up.
So next year at the Game Awards, Metallica.
Yes, that's what'll happen.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
You know, what was it? Mr. Fister on the Twatters. He was using social medias. I'm pretty sure that you had shared something about their viewership taking a plummeting nosedive. Shocking.
Holy fuck. Well, and it was because every year you knew that their viewership figures were down because they didn't brag about them this year. Right? Because last year and the year before that, every year that the Game Awards was held, they kept foisting up their fucking concurrent viewer figures. That didn't happen this year. So right off the bat, you know I'm right. Second, I took a screenshot. I took a screenshot of the live stream while I was actually watching, and I was like, isn't that like a lot lower than last year? Because I thought it was like 100,000 concurrent viewers, and I think all together it was in the millions of people who were viewing. This year, the YouTube stream, which is the main stream, like 50-ish to 60-ish thousand concurrent viewers at once. Didn't even break the hundo mark. So, you know, fucking for one of our live streams, that's not bad. But, you know, for fucking the Game Awards, not so much.
And ours being infinitely more entertaining.
No shit.
Well,
and far more gift wrap in this presentation than in any other from Jeff Keighley.
I do like that, by the way. The thing that's weird about it, though, is I forgot that it existed. Yeah. And apparently shitloads of people that follow me on Twitter also forgot that it existed. And I'm not saying this to be funny or to take a jab at it. I get the point to award shows and shit and why they exist. I just don't value any kind of an award show because I think all it is just people masturbating.
I didn't even realize it was on.
You how to spend your money. That's all.
I didn't even realize it was on until 20 minutes in. people started tweeting about the Game Awards, and I'm like, really? What the fuck? The Game Awards are good. That's a thing still?
I mean, look,
okay.
the main people I think that should be excited about this is if I was a developer of a video game, I would be really excited about this because it's a ceremonious occasion where you get recognized for your craft. And I understand that 100%, and that makes sense. There's all sorts of award shows for shit that doesn't even matter out there, but they're held anyway because there are groupings of people where that shit is important. But the amount of gamers that say that this has lots of stock in it, do you think for your fucking self at all at any moment in time, or do you just want to have somebody say, hey, buy this. Hey, this won an award. That means it's good. You bought it? Oh, you have it? Well, here.
Speaking of which, that's another point I want to bring up. Fucking Dishonored, which came out like a week before the award show, won Best Adventure Game. Which they did this again. I think Bethesda does this intentionally at this point. Because the same shit happened with Skyrim. The same shit happened with Fallout 4. It seems like Bethesda releases these games like a week before the Game Awards, and they always win. They're just, as whatever the fuck it is, if it's up for an award, it will win because it just came out. They don't have enough time to, because there's an arc to playing a game, right? I love certain games, but you play it, you have kind of your maximum enjoyment period, and then there's kind of a plateau or if not a fall off, depending on how bad the game is in actuality. For example, Resident Evil 5, considered today pretty subpar in the series. Good luck telling that to anyone on the planet, the first 3 days that it was out. Because it was like, oh my God, I can't believe this game. It was incredible. There's this set piece and that fucking set piece. 3 months down the line, everyone's like, wow, that was dog shit. You know what I mean? There's an afterglow moment, and seems like Bethesda has perfected the art of timing their releases to perfectly seize on the afterglow with none of the blowback.
I mean, it's not a bad business strategy from a marketing standpoint.
No.
Because it's like, hey, we won that award. Yeah, but hasn't everybody said that your game's glitchy as fuck and needs patches out the ass? Again, nobody shocked? You? No? You? No. No? Wow. 0 people.
Oh, yeah.
Silence! Get them a large bracelet for their cell phone. They'll never know the difference.
Yes.
I wore that, by the way.
You did?
Yes, you did for a very long time.
I was smitten with it. The worst part about it was this beast right here could not fit in it, so I had to go and get my old phone and then load up apps onto it, and it's a Samsung Galaxy S4. It was so fucking slow. Everything I did, I was just like, Jesus Christ, this is why I had to upgrade. And I put it in there, nestled in all nicely. I looked at it, I was all happy. Then I realized I was using data technology with a big plastic wristband. I looked like an asshole. It's like, well, could be worse. Could be worse. I could be Christine Chandler right now. Jesus Christ, he's such a train.
How did I know you were gonna say Christian?
Dude, I interact with him on Twitter, but he won't say anything back, and I'm just like, please, just once, because the shit that he fucking says, I'm like, dude, what the fuck, man?
No, it's like following. Have you followed Barack Obama's brother on Twitter?
So
he's fucking genius. It's the best Twitter account right now.
Seen so many retweets, and he's like, when I was going through it, I started reading them, and I'm like, dude, I would have fucking voted for you in a heartbeat. like no joke. I would have hugged him. It's like Teddy Ruxpin. Like the way I feel, I'm just like, you're so fucking adorable and funny. You're so great. Presidency, just usher him in. It'd been fucking great. Oh man, there's a lot out there. Oh god, there was a couple that I had seen, like just some of the best troll accounts ever. I'm like, this is fucking great. People are genius. I applaud them. I tip my hat, sir. I tip my hat. But so overall, we could probably say that the award show was exactly like all the other ones.
In the overall, it went over like a Slayer song on Dancing with the Stars. Next.
Well, before we move on from the Game Awards, though, Mr. Fist, you brought up that there was a esports presence at the Game Awards this year.
There was, I believe, and guess what? Overwatch won it. Surprise!
Shocked.
Esports Game of the Year, Overwatch, ladies and gentlemen.
Now, I don't want to drag this out too long, but how on fuck do you quantify being the greatest of esports? Was there criteria?
Hey, wait a minute. Esports are run by a bunch of rich assholes, and rich assholes also run our award show. Fantastic! Indubitably! Capital suggestion!
So as is the response to why is everything wrong and why is everything expensive? Rich assholes. Okay. All right, well, in that case, we can move on.
Hold on. Hey, real quick, before we move on, you are wearing a fucking Yokai Watch shirt.
As a matter of fact, I am, because nobody on YouTube wears a Yokai Watch shirt.
I don't know a single goddamn thing about it, and when I went out and bought something, they gave me this for free, and I don't know what it is, and I just want to give it to my one nephew because he likes it, and I don't... What the fuck is it? Like, what's Yokai Watch?
Yokai Watch is the watch from Yokai Watch. It's on Netflix. Check it out.
I'm not... No!
Quit being a faggot!
I don't feel like watching it because I have shit that I actually
You're gonna watch the goddamn Skylanders show, but you're gonna make me... You're not gonna fucking look at Yokai Watch for a minute.
Not watching it.
Okay, you have watched much worse things than that.
Like Pokemon.
The Last of Us, for example.
It's like Pokemon, but it's funnier.
Okay, then hold on. Are there ghosts in the show?
It's like a cross between Pokemon and Ghostbusters, but it's funnier.
Dude, that sounds awesome.
Then go fucking watch it.
I think I might. Dude, that's
dug your fucking heels into the dirt on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh wow, Alpha's stubborn, everybody. Oh shit. The sky's blue, everyone. Grass is green.
Yeah, no, check it out. And the games are pretty cool. The gameplay's not terribly deep because it is, designed, I think, to, sucker in kids.
I was gonna say I had seen some stuff about it. I do remember something being about ghosts, and I thought that was neat, but I didn't know much of shit beyond about like that. So is it just like Pokemon and you're just catching ghosts?
Sort of. It's okay, in a way that Pokemon is very much battles, and there's an underlying story overall, but it's very long and overarching over a long period of time. This is more like a sitcom in the way it's written, kind of like how the Ghostbusters was written. There's one-liners, and but yeah, and the ghosts actually interact with the human world. It's kind of works on multiple levels, similar to.
Are you talking about a cartoon and you're like, it works on multiple levels? It's like a philosophical experience.
Absolutely. Well, what I mean was, in the same way that, hey, fuck you, man. In the same way that Ghostbusters kind of explored how the ghosts affect the human world.
Yeah.
But how they only explored that for like 2 episodes. Each episode kind of deals with how the ghost affects.
I was gonna say, man, you gotta watch the real Ghostbusters because they go way deeper into that. Way deeper. They don't fuck around. That show's amazing. So amazing. By the way, I want to get the fucking complete version of it. I'd seen it. It comes in like the actual firehouse.
Oh, and I was like, that's beautiful.
Dude, it looks so cool. Then I had seen it was like, oh, it's sold out. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I'll just find it somewhere else. And I looked and was like, oh no, it's actually sold out. Like just gone. And now it's well over like $300 and $400. I'm like, well,
man, you better bite the bullet and grab it now, because it'll only go up in price when they make the new Ghostbusters cartoon filmed live from inside a feminist vagina.
Are feminist vaginas big enough to film cartoon series?
Yeah.
Because they strike me as unused.
It's their asses that are tight. It's the vag is perfect.
Oh, because their vaginas strike me as unused, so I would imagine, you catch my drift.
I just imagine that there's a lot of sand in there. It probably looks like a beach set. It'd be amazing. You'd have like some of the ocean in the background. There's room. There's plenty of room. We can do it.
Yeah.
We don't need these studio lots anymore. We got one that will travel from Starbucks to Starbucks. It's fucking great. So you just hit up one of those locations, you're fine. So, but Yokai Watch. So I'm assuming approval from you because you're wearing a fucking.
I enjoy it. I have a feeling it would be funnier if I watched it in Japanese, like if I spoke Japanese. But as far as shows like that being translated, the humor does carry over. It's pretty good. Check it out.
Okay.
And the game's no slouch. The games are.
We got a fucking review on the Hate Bit Podcast Live. I think that's kind of awesome. Even if people say, I don't give a fuck about this. Well, fuck off. It doesn't matter. Now you heard it.
That's the spirit.
All right, so we can now. What are we going into next?
No,
so
we're actually. I was going to try and segue that somehow with fucking and vaginas and stuff, but Nintendo has decided that they're going to offer up a bunch of bucks. See, I knew fucking would come in there some way. Nintendo is offering up, what was it, like $20,000, something ridiculous, to enterprising hackers who will, for Nintendo, find security faults in 3DS operating system hardware, software, things like that. For more, Alpha Omegason, what do you know about it?
Well, I would like to think that Nintendo should pull a swerve, and it's actually $20,000 in like the eShop, and not actual money. So then they can have an even bigger laugh at the expense of people. But they essentially want to make somebody become a fucking snitch, come forward and tell Nintendo what they could do just by opening Google and typing the shit in, because it'll just show up. But they want to tell them about all the exploits and all the shit that people have been doing for ages now with their consoles and their handhelds, but strictly with the 3DS, because the 3DS, I mean, was it Ninja Cube is the biggest one that I can think of off the top of my head outside of that 3DS flash cart that they have out, which it's not called the R4, it's called something else. But they're trying to find ways to go and remedy this. The downside is when you go onto a public forum and you say, hey, we want your help with trying to solve these problems, that comes off as a challenge to all the people that keep going after it. Yeah. So these motherfuckers are going to be on that shit. It's gonna be like a chain chomp on Mario's
this is gonna, dude. This is the monkey paw is gonna be in full effect here. Careful what you goddamn wish for, Nintendo. You gotta watch out for this kind of shit. Because anytime you're encouraging anyone to fucking infiltrate your security, it's like, and here's my wife for you to fuck too. Here you go. And here's a nice plate of cookies and milk. You fucking asshole.
That sounds fucking great, dude. I've never gotten cookies and milk after banging. I've had lots of other awesome food, but never cookies and milk. That I need to make that like a holiday thing. But
that's a good idea. And if you're gonna bang somebody's wife, make sure it's razor fists, because there's cookies.
Yeah, cookie and milk. You can't just have fucking cookies. That's for fucking like.
You sir are a generous host.
Yeah, honestly, I dig that. But I don't know, with something like this, I always think about how it can negatively impact and begin to influence people to want to try to do this more. Yeah. And the few people out there that are going to be willing to come forward and tell them how to stop this, all it is like, hey, we patched this hole. Well, we just made 8 others.
Yeah, exactly. And look, there's a reason the FBI... Like, I have a friend who works for the FBI I3 division, right? He works with the cyber security, whatever. He's a hacker, basically, for the FBI.
Which sounds far more interesting than it actually is.
It does. It sounds a lot more interesting than it is. Really, he's just patching security faults and looking in cases and whatever. But they got a hold of him because they literally, recruited. They heard of something that he did and literally, recruited him. So that's how the FBI gets their hackers, I guess. They just hear about some shit that you do, and they're like, well, shit, you should go work for us, asshole. And often they have leverage.
Isn't that interesting? You break, a few laws, and you go to jail. You break a bunch of laws, you need to work for us. Come here.
It's true.
You know what? But it makes sense. Big companies have been doing this shit for a long time.
Oh, yeah, that's where casinos find cheaters and hire them as security personnel.
Yeah, but the point I'm making is that's how the FBI recruit. That's how most profitable companies, recruit or whatever. They don't just advertise in the fucking classifieds. Hey, please, hackers, come hack us and tell us what's wrong with our shit.
Please understand. we still miss you, Iwata, but it's one of those things that when I think about it, I'm like, well, this could be good in some ways because Nintendo could come across somebody who's like the golden ticket winner, and this motherfucker is a treasure trove of knowledge of everything and anything, and they're basically a prodigy when it comes to hacking. So they can recruit this person, hire them, and be like, oh yeah, I can tell you everything that's fucked up, and I can also be like, the eyes of the hawk. Anytime that something else is going to be fucked up, I'm going to see it, and I can report back. So it's good in that respect, but anytime that companies do this, it's immediately setting off the fucking Silent Hill alarms, where all of a sudden the monsters come out, and now it's time to feed. Yeah. And they'll look at it. Anything that you think that is impenetrable, you've got 50 people who already got inside because you decided to go and broadcast that. Yeah, that's the issue.
All the monsters are going to come out of the woodwork. The sirens are going to go off. All their heads are going to be shaped like penises. It's Silent Hill. It's Silent Hill, folks.
They're shaped like penises, and they have really nice tits. I'm talking like some of the nicest fucking tits you've ever seen. Yeah, so long as you don't look directly up from the neck, you're good to go. You're good to go. And also, I'm sure. Oh god, can you imagine like their faces all twisted and mangled and stuff? I bet their pussy and asshole look that way too. Has to. It makes sense. Like I'm assuming it's just like tits and legs. That's what looks nice. Everything else, a complete fucking mess. That's what Silent Hill would do.
There's literally a monster in 2 where it's a pair of legs on top of a pair of legs.
Oh no! Are you talking about the rape boss? Dude, no, I forgot the one chick's name. The one who's all like fucked up in the head that did not actually help all that much because everybody's fucked up in the head in Silent Hill. But anyway, she's in that room where all those weird wiener-looking things are coming out, and there's that rape bed boss where there's definitely a dick. And it's like 2 things that are fucking, which is supposed to be a representation of rape. And when I saw that, I'm just like, God damn, Silent Hill, you're fucked up. Also, that's one of the reasons you're one of my favorite fucking games ever. Like, God damn. Yes. Woo.
Oh, what a masterpiece.
Oh, it is. It's so fucking good. By the way, I think that during every single individual discussion, we have found a way to bring up penetration and sex, and rape, and something else. I'm pretty sure. If not, then we fucked up. I apologize to the audience. Also, fuck you. But still, just there. And
life found a way, Dr. Malcolm.
It's a good. I'm proud. I'm proud. I like to think our handiwork deserves at least like 1 or 2 gold stars. 2.
Absolutely, and we look forward to all the rest of your handiwork later on in the program. Anyway, now it's time to talk about something that's mildly exciting. Alpha Omegason brought this to my attention. Brazilian toy maker Tectoy announced not too long ago about what they call their Mega Drive Edição Limitada, which I'm sure I butchered that because I'm not good with Portuguese or anything else for that matter. But the limited edition Mega Drive coming from Tectoy is apparently, what is this, Alpha Omegason? You said they're going to have cartridges?
Okay, we got plug and play systems. We already know that the NES Mini is still selling like fucking hotcakes, but resellers aren't getting nearly the amount of money that they've been hoping. But with that being said, Sega has Tectoy has been making Sega like officially licensed Sega properties for they got the Master System re-release, but it doesn't look like the overseas Master System, which I thought was kind of interesting. It looks like its own thing, but they are making an actual Sega Genesis, so we got the Mega Drive, but they're making actual cartridges, brand new cartridges, officially licensed Sega Mega Drive carts, with cases, with manuals and shit. And these are going to be brand new. Not that's all that shocking because they were putting out Master Systems well into the 2000s. And this has kind of been their thing. But this, for a lot of people, is new to hear about. Like, when was the last time that a North American Sega Genesis cartridge was made? Like 1994, 95?
Last one that I'm aware of was EA did it. It was one of the NHL, like NHL 98, I think, was on the Mega Drive.
Yeah, I fucking forgot the sports games. They trickle those out.
Oh, yes, especially back then.
Yeah, and dude, and everybody knows, like, it's always hard to, like, go out and look for Sega Genesis games without coming across shit tons upon shit tons of Electronic Arts games, because I mean that was big as fuck on the Genesis. Yeah. But we could be getting the likes of Alex Kidd's Golden Axe, Streets of Rage, Sonic the Hedgehog re-releases. They could go obscure and give us like Decap Attack, Dynamite Heady. It just there's all these franchises that were big on it, but they'll probably focus on whatever did good in those regions, which I have no fucking clue what won them over there. But I'm excited because if this does well,
Mariachi Hero,
huh?
Mariachi Hero. But anyway, continue.
We don't need Holiday Amigo anymore. Fuck that giggling goddamn monkey. We can go and have this, and it'll be so much better. I need that. But it made me start thinking, if Nintendo sees that as being profitable, would they ever consider something like that? And then that whole turbo graphics thing that might be happening. So there's a lot of what ifs, assuming that if the other things do well, the other businesses will be like, yeah, fuck it, we can totally do this shit. Yeah, but new Genesis games? Interested?
I'm down. I'm down. No, go ahead.
Okay, I'll say I find it very interesting. I mean, if nothing else, just to, there's going to be a shit ton of unboxing. People say, well, it doesn't quite feel like the original clam case. Now, a Sega clamshell case made in Japan, all of that stuff. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Well,
you always get those channels where they're like, well, you see, they use the eye screws in this particular cartridge here, and this cart dates back to the times of Hammurabi, and actually, if you check the carbon dating here, fuck off. Learn what a pussy feels like, my friend.
They start counting the fucking tree rings inside of the actual cart itself. They're just like, if you look real closely right here, and it's like, stop it. I don't even know how the fuck you did that.
You'll notice these clamshells do not have the top hanging tag for retail. It's because it wasn't made available retail.
Dude, you know what? So I'm just happy that we can get clamshell cases instead of those god-awful red cardboard boxes that they went with later on, which were abysmal. Fuck those things. They were terrible, and they should feel bad for doing that. But
those are the same ones they sent along with the 32X games, too.
I'm just kind of worried about one thing and one thing only, because a lot of the newer Sega Genesis systems that have been licensed out and have been made have all had one common problem, and that's been the sound. Sega Genesis / Mega Drive has a very distinct sound, as we all know, and it's fucking infamous, and everybody knows about that shit. But if this is going through composite sound, not through HDMI, which I thought was very fucking stupid, because it'd be very simple for them to do, but we're not getting S-video, and I'm just like, just fucking do it right. But I just hope that the sound isn't butchered. And it's and there's games preloaded onto it.
And look, I fucking hate the Genesis soundboard, but it has its fans. And it's like, if you don't get that where the bass notes sound like a chorus of people farting in unison, you know what I mean? Like where you
farting against a saw.
Yeah, there's just an inimitable kind of sound to the Genesis music. If you don't get that, it's just not Genesis. It just isn't.
Well, it won't feel authentic. Like for the most part, there's a lot of companies out there that made games for the Genesis that I don't feel.
Oh yeah, but see, I was gonna bring this up. I don't want to cut you off, Alpha, okay. But Lupacillo, who's from South America, says that HDMI is not yet in common adoption in Brazil. So for them to put that out, that would be because I think that CRT TVs are still quite very much a thing in South America.
Yeah, they've still got Mega Drive cart and horse out there. Actually, it's going on.
Dude, it's still one of those things. I'm like, okay, if they were gonna go with just the composite video out, why didn't they at least look at like very, very first model Sega Genesis, which had S-video options?
I don't think that S-video maybe was ever really widespread adopted there because it's expensive and people there are poor. Didn't you see the Olympics?
I don't watch that shit. I don't care.
Well, they're poor. It's awful. It's terrible.
But I just want everything to be perfect. Like I do. Like I love the Genesis. I love it so much. Like I actually want to import this, even though I have a Model 1 Sega Genesis, Model 2, and Model 3. I don't even know why I own the Model 3.
Sorry.
The Model 3 is embarrassing, but the CDX, on the other hand, that's nice. That's good stuff. But you ultimately always go with first generation Model 1 if you're ever going to. And a lot of people out there are going to nitpick about it, but I'm mainly excited about the new cartridge games. The fact that they'll be put out there, but they said this is a limited edition system, but they didn't actually say how many of them are going to be out there. And even if you don't want to afford the physical games themselves, they do have preloaded games onto the system. And I don't know if this is confirmed, but somebody said that emulation, like actually loading ROMs onto it, might be possible. And if that's the case, dude, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, done. Forget about it. How sad is it though that in 2016, just the mere act of releasing physical goods is like a fucking event.
It is. That's yeah. Hey, we're in business.
Hey, we're gonna actually make a thing, and then you're going to proffer.
I just have the feeling
legal tender for goods and services.
I just have a feeling the limited edition thing was just on there. It's like that way they know they can sell out the first fucking run because it'll be on eBay.
Yeah,
I mean that's and Craigslist.
That's truly what I'm expecting. Like I'd recorded a bit about it, and that was one of the things I brought up because every time that they do one of this, collectors jump all over it, and I get it. There's a collectability aspect to a lot of things in gaming nowadays. But it just fucking sucks for the people that want to actually open it and want to experience it rather than just allow it to have allure on a fucking shelf. And that's really all. So I'm hoping that this doesn't have like a print run of, well, we only made like 5,000. Well, shit, those are going to be gone, and it's not going to take long at all. So hopefully that's not the case, but I'm hoping that this leads to bigger and better things. I hope there's like a robust library because there's so many Sega games, so fucking many that they can just get from Sega, just Sega alone, that they own the rights to. And Sega has acquired so much shit over the years that there's probably other games on the Genesis that they didn't technically own the rights to because they didn't develop or publish them, but they own the rights to over time. Now they would be able to go and use that from their old back catalog.
And this kind of leads into the fact of, this was sort of an inevitability with the advent of cinema. After a while, you got the classic cinema market. Right? You had the new movies, but you had the old ones, and there wound up being entire networks, and there still are devoted just to classic movies. I'm pretty much not 24/7. If I'm not watching Investigation Discovery, because that's fucking crack, I could watch Investigation Discovery all fucking day. But if I'm not watching that, it's Turner Classic Movies, right? And there's tons of those kind of stations on the air. Even on terrestrial television, in fact, wherever it still exists.
And that's honestly a good fucking example to bring up, man, because it really is. There's retro gaming, and then there's just modern. And there, like, a lot of people seem to forget there's also an in-between, because there are things that kind of hang in limbo for a while until more years pass, and then all of a sudden, well, that's now considered retro. Like, I consider everything up to the Dreamcast to be like the retro. That's just...
Yeah, but also don't forget to take into account, you're a parent, and your son is going to look at the Wii as the stuff that got him kicked off to where he was, because he's going to remember a time when those shits were everywhere.
No, and you know what? That's something that I've had retro discussions about. Well, what is considered retro? And I said it depends on who you ask.
And it's a matter of right now, as of right now.
Yeah, like for anybody who grew up with something, because if I ask some 18-year-old, his first system was probably a PlayStation 2.
Probably. So
for him, that's retro. He's just like, yeah, that. And when you think about it, that came out in almost 16 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, and close to fucking 17 years ago. So in a lot of ways, that is pretty fucking retro. If I brought up anything like the was it the plug and play Pong consoles or Atari ColecoVision television, they'd shit bricks. They'd be like, what the fuck is that ancient artifact? I don't know what that is.
Yeah. But it is interesting. This is a rare case where I'm going to say it's not retro gaming is not a craze. I do think the retro speculators market is, and it's going to eventually bottom out. I think it's already starting to, honestly. But I don't think retro gaming is a craze. I think it's just something we're going to have going forward because the medium has been around long enough. it's just going to be here from now on.
Exactly. And the internet has been around long enough to where all that stuff will still show up in a Google search.
Yeah, it's immortalized. So I honestly, what we're seeing right now with like the classic NES being released by Nintendo and being so fucking huge and hard to get for people, and with the stuff with the Mega Drive, I expect a lot more of this. Actually, I would not be surprised at all to see one of the big companies just go back and, oh, here's a new Super Nintendo. Here you go.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I could absolutely see that happening, and I think it probably will.
Well, interestingly enough, you bring that up because there has been a lot of speculation. What with our friends over at Konami, what is it? Registering a trademark for Turbo Graphics. Isn't that the case?
Yeah. It's people were thinking, oh well, we're gonna get a new Turbo Graphics system, so a plug and play Turbo Graphics system, which I thought it was kind of. See, this to me was interesting because I was like, well. I could have swore, keep in mind, there's still more digging I need to do, but I was like, wait a minute, NEC had made the TurboGrafx system, but we know that Hudson was like one of the main reasons that it even existed. So Konami acquired that. So I'm assuming maybe NEC and Hudson just had like an agreement whenever they were going and making that, and NEC just provided the hardware for it. Similar, like, all the console manufacturers out there end up going to other companies to go and get parts and pieces for shit to go and make things. Toshiba has done it. Sharp has done it. Sony has done it. Microsoft has done it. You name a company, they've gone out there, and lots of smaller companies. Anyway, with that, I'm assuming that Konami technically owns all the TurboGrafx shit. We already know that they have Hudson, so that could mean, at least what I'm thinking, that they might end up using the TurboGrafx name to start re-releasing old titles from that library, which they have done nothing with.
Yeah,
nothing.
No, they picked that up when Hudson went down. It's been like 3 years, hasn't it?
It's been a while, and they've done fuck all with it. I mean, at this point in time, I safely assume everything that Konami is going to do is pachinko or mobile phone related.
Yeah.
There isn't one or the other. It's just those two, and exclusively those two. But I kept on thinking, well, maybe they're just going to redistribute a lot of the games. It's like TurboGrafx Classics Volume 1 through 10, and each one contains X amount of games. They throw that shit onto mobile phones, make a couple pachinko variants, and they just call it a fucking day because it's shelved and not making them any money right now.
Well, I was also made aware that on the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, yeah, I know, boo, I know. That there was something called the Atari Flashbacks Collection, which I was surprised to see such a throwback release to those modern platforms in a physical format, which is interesting. And I don't know if Konami has the money to, finance an anti-pesto salad or anything. See, there they are.
Now, this right here is my brother's actual Christmas present. Bought him both of them because he's big into Atari. And, dude, there's 50 games on each. It's 100 fucking games.
Well, you better hope he's not watching or you ruin the fucking
dude,
surprise.
He doesn't give a fuck about my videos. He just knows they exist. That's all. But, dude, the thing that's neat about it, online multiplayer for Atari games.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That is fucking badass.
That's
I
awesome.
thought that was cool as shit, and I was just like, you know what? This is neat as hell. So, it's Christmas is going to be good.
Yeah, I don't even think, like, when the Capcom Classics Collection came out for the original Xbox, I don't even think those were online. That's just badass.
Dude, there's been so many compilation series that have come out that have compiled some of the best of the best. Nintendo has done numerous ones. The Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition on the GameCube, the Kirby Collection, the Super Mario one. Mega Man had two different ones for Mega Man series, and then the X Collection. We have the Data East Collection. SNK did multiple ones. Then they did the Fatal Fury one. They did a King of Fighters one.
Samurai Showdown one, which is hard as fuck to find, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's dude. There's some and
it's
then
actually what people don't realize. Samurai Showdown Collection or Samurai Showdown Anthology is the only way that you can play in the States. It's the only physical release that Samurai Showdown 6 has had at all. So fucking prices for that are absolutely astronomical and ridiculous.
Dude, it's amazing what some of those compilations have done. I know that the Data East collection on Nintendo Wii, that's becoming more and more sought after because a lot of those are just arcade games.
Yeah.
Period. That's it. No console re-release, no ports, no nothing. Just straight up arcade only games, and good ones, like very good ones. Data East had an amazing back catalog of titles, and that
I wouldn't call it amazing.
Nah, man, they had some good ass shit. I mean, I'm not saying that all their stuff was great because they had definite duds, but
they teamed up with Ocean Software to make the unreleased beat 'em up of The Shadow, I believe, which was really fucking cool, but it was never released, unfortunately.
Is there actual like screenshots or anything of that?
Yeah, it's badass. There's video of it. It was leaked as a ROM, unfinished, but it was pretty much done. The game was pretty much done. It was the Super Nintendo version leaked, but it was also going to be on Genesis.
Oh, I did see that a little while back.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm thinking that needs to be on Razor Fist Arcade.
I did put it on it. Yeah, I did a brief little like playthrough thing, but I didn't complete it or anything.
Dude, it's stuff like that I find interesting. There's one that I was kind of excited about. It was the Taito Classics, and on that they have a game that it was one of my most wanted Sega Saturn imports. I ended up becoming fortunate enough to get one before it just suddenly just skyrocketed, but it was Elevator Action Returns.
Oh,
and, dude, that was arcade only. I liked Elevator Action on NES. And I enjoyed that as a kid. I thought it was a cool ass game. It's very simple, but it was an arcade game, so that was par for the course. But
it gets tough, absolutely.
Dude, Returns is the shit. That one,
that's the one where they introduced machine guns, right?
Oh yeah, dude, the stages. It's not just like, you know, you got the one tall building and things just change colors every so often. It's like that's a new stage now.
Yeah, that one's like really violent, isn't it?
Yeah, there's so much fucking blood in it. A lot of different enemies. The boss fights get ridiculous. It's just like I was getting good at it, but it just kept kicking the shit out of me, man. But I liked it so much. Very, very fun game. It just emulated. I would say get the Taito version of it, but I think the emulation for it is a little bit odd. If you get the main version of it, it's perfect. So go with that unless you're rich enough to afford the Sega Saturn one. So there's that. But yeah, we got compilations out the ass. That's what we're saying, folks. So there.
Yeah, so I mean, it wouldn't be, I think, too much of a stretch of the imagination if Konami were to, you know, try something in the console space, something like that, to release some of those old Hudson games, because they're there, they're free, you know. I mean,
they're there, and Konami's not in software anymore, which is a bit sad. We could probably talk about this at a later date, but I've often thought, you know, if the whole thing with Kojima getting fucked over didn't happen, I think people would view the downfall of Konami. They'd be a little more favorable to the company because they'd be like, God, it wasn't that sad. This great company that made all these great Ninja Turtles games and shit, and all the great games from our childhood, and even pretty good games in the recent past.
I think the thing that ended up making me jaded was I've had so many peeks behind the curtain of what goes on in the buildings there and how they operate and how they run business. And when you get to see how they go about just doing anything, it's all very shitty. And I mean, when they come forward and they're just kind of saying, hey, we don't really care nearly as much about our gaming business because it doesn't make as much money and everything else makes us a lot more money.
Yeah.
I mean, from a business standpoint, I understand that. But when you're a diehard fan of all their franchises, you know, you gave me Contra and you gave me Castlevania. I don't know how to thank a company that gave me those things, but they're fucking amazing. You gave me the Metal Gear games. That's fucking awesome. But you fucking suck now.
Well, to be fair, though, this is also the company that chased off a bunch of talent, and now we have Treasure Software. And then also chased off another group of talent, and now we have Nazca Software, makers of the Metal Slug games.
Yeah, all I'm saying is look at like the contrast in terms of like a company's downfall. And granted, the circumstances are different, but between like Konami and say like Rare Software. Or like, because everyone's like, oh man, what happened to Rare? Like, man, they were so fucking great. I feel so bad for them. They've been gutted by Microsoft and they've been neutered and whatever. And but with Konami, it's like, fuck them in the ass. Fuck them with a barbed wire chainsaw. Fuck them.
Yeah, it is amazing, but it's because we have such a more vocal environment whenever it comes to Konami fucked up just recently. Yeah. Rare was dying in 2006.
It's true.
And that's fucking depressing. And this was a day and age where YouTube wasn't really a fucking thing, you know. And now it's kind of sad because I don't want to hate them, but I sure as fuck don't want to support them. Like, I can't, in my own right mind, support a company that does that kind of shit. All businesses do shady shit, and that's fine. But whenever the dirty laundry gets aired, well, what the fuck, man? You know, and they have chased off a bunch of talent, and that fucking sucks too. But, and Treasure, how the fuck hasn't a big company picked up Treasure? I just want to ask that question. I've been wondering why for years now, because everything that they make is just crazy, over the top, and cool as fuck.
Well, because no one buys games where people shoot things or anything.
Dude, they made a McDonald's game one of the best games on the Genesis. I mean, like, from a technical standpoint, it is fucking impressive as shit. And we got Gunstar Heroes because of them. Again, fucking amazing. Like, they're so cool. Great. That's something that eventually need to talk about at great lengths, because that fucking company, good shit right there. But yeah, TurboGrafx, I don't know if they're doing a plug and play system, but I think this is what the fuck they're going to end up doing with the license.
Well, you know, hopefully they do fucking anything. And with that, that's the end. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This has been the 8-Bit Podcast. We appreciate you guys stopping by. We'll see you again next week. I am the intrepid Yell Chaos. Joining me was the astonishing Alpha Omega Sin. Say goodbye to the nice people.
Fuck you. I love you, but fuck you. I'm gonna hate fuck you. There we go. Hate it. Fuck. I don't know. Anyway, goodbye.
Hate fucks all the way around, and the ravishing Razor Fist.
And I'll get the sloppy seconds. I'm Razor Fist. God fucking speed.
You guys are great. The 8-Bit Podcast. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Bye bye. You miserable fucks.